A flat finish. So when I'm done with the 308s, I'm gonna put it back in the tumbler and see what if it shines it up a little bit. But they feel pretty smooth. They're clean. No issues there. I think it'll flow. You know, what I did, I put a little bit of that bartender's friend. It's a little borax powder, and that kind of scuffed it. It didn't really shine it up. So I'm gonna try it. Maybe it'll recoup, or I can go from the rice to the almond media, and maybe that'll polish it up. I saw a guy in a video that he had a Chinese tumbler, and the Chinese tumbler was going, it's just going on a way, moving. This thing is solid. I have it there, and it stays there. It's not going. Check it out. It's not moving anywhere. And why? Because it's America. Made in America. So, I had that for, Jesus, I bought it in 81, something like that. When I moved into an apartment, I couldn't have my setup. So I put it in boxes and I put it away. And I would just buy, it's a little loud. That's a little better. Okay, just relax a little bit because I've been a little hectic running around doing a lot of stuff. I'm a little beat. So where was I? Oh yeah, the equipment was in a box in storage in the apartment. It had a garage, underground garage, and you had the lockers. You know those cabinets. You put it in there, and I lived in that place for 10 years. Never reloaded. Bought store ammo when I would go hunting, and I kept the guns at a friend's house. He good enough to let me, even though his wife didn't like it. But I had it stored in the safe outside, behind the garage, covered, out of the weather, and I would hardly go to see my guns and use them. I would just go pick them up when it was time for hunting, and then clean them up, put them back in. That's it till next year. It was a period of my life of adjusting and readjusting. That's when I was having my surgeries and going through two surgeries, possibly a third. Going through hell, doing the therapy, Then trying to find a job in my condition, the surgeon asked me after the first surgery, I had a hip implant. He asked me, "What do you do for a living?" And I told him, I said, "Well, I'm in construction. I manage the projects and inspect, and I load. I bring the materials to the job site, and I carry, climb ladders, go up and down, walk on the roof, and you know." He said, "Do you pick up anything heavy?" And I said, "Well, yes, cement sacks, and lumber, and drywall." He goes, "Can't do that no more." And I said, "Why not?" He goes, "Well, you could still do that, but if you do it, you're gonna wear out your hip, and you're gonna be back in here in less than for another surgery in less than 5 years. You need to take it easy. You need to change your profession." And I'm thinking, how in the hell am I going to change my profession? I've been doing this for years. I mean, I've done a lot of other stuff. I've done welding, and I was a truck driver and security guard at the airport, and what is it? Working on a salad dressing company, working the machineries, and I've done a bunch of other stuff. But the biggest knowledge I had was in construction. So, well, now I'm in that fork on the road. Which one do you take, left or right? And I said, well, um, let's see which is which. So when I was going to rehab, after the physical rehab, you got to go and do your exercise. And after I was done with that, uh, I said, okay, I feel that I'm strong enough to get back to work, because I just wasn't going to be laying around. I was only 45, I think, something like that, 44. So I have a friend that his wife worked at the employment office, and I talked to her and I said, "Well, see if you can find me a job," you know. So she got online, da da da. She did her thing. Put out some numbers, put my number out there, and one day I get a call. A couple of weeks later, I get a call from this guy that he needed a project manager. So he asked me, "Come down, let's have an interview." I said, "All right." So I went over there, and when we sat down, um, this guy was very uh, very well dressed. This guy was GQ, you know, Beverly Hill office, blonde, tall. He looked like a model. And I said, "What kind of project?" I'm thinking with this guy in construction. This guy, the typical construction guy, he is burly or chunky, muscle built. But this guy wasn't like this. This guy was slim, very good looking. I said, this guy can pick up women, every single day. So anyway, we sat down. He told me, "No, I'm doing this project for these wealthy people, and I need somebody to run it." So he explained that what the job was, what I need to do and stuff. And I just told him, it's just right up my alley. No big deal for me. But I forgot to mention, before that offer came, I had I don't remember exactly how I got it, but there was a guy that needed a a block wall and driveway work on his house. And this guy, he was owner of a fish. Uh, he would sell fish and shrimp and clams and all that stuff. So I went and met with him, and I went to his house, measured everything, gave him a price, and he said, "All right, get to it." So I started doing that job by myself, and this is fresh out of surgery. I mean, I'm what was it, my second? So I don't remember if it was the first. I think it was the second. But anyways, I started, with a sledgehammer that I still have it. It's a 16 pounder. I call it Big Boy. You need some muscle to swing that puppy around. This is not an 8 pounder. This is a 16 pounder. Swinging and breaking. I broke the whole thing. I rented a lowboy container. Rented a no, my dad had a jackhammer, a hand jackhammer, so I brought that also and finished breaking everything. Loaded onto a wheel barrel and roll it up to the container. I did that by myself. That's how desperate I was for a job because I needed money. So I did that, framed it out, after it was clean, level, and everything, framed it out, and um, poured the concrete. I brought a cement finisher. Between the two of us, we did that. And then got paid for that. And then he says, okay, he wanted a block wall that we never really talked about. I thought it was just regular wall. Well, what he wanted was a retaining wall. That's a whole different animal. So I said, let me see exactly what you need. So what he was at his house was the back of the yard was against a hill. He wanted to bring this block wall 8 feet high. And when you do a retaining wall, you have to dig down, and the retaining wall, you just don't put up a wall. You got to put an L. So it has and the rebar goes against it, so it has some power to maintain that dirt there. When it rains, all the water comes down. It's moving, trying to push. I said, no, I can't do that part. I can give you a name and a number. And he got it done with this person that I recommended because it was just going to be way too much for me. I didn't want to also mess up the results of my surgery. My feet was still getting swollen and stuff from the activity. So then, right after that job, I don't know, a week or so later, I get a call from this guy, from the GQ guy. And he told me what he wants, so I went over there and looked, and they were going to do they were going to do a TA, that means tenant improvement, in a building, a very famous building. I'm not going to mention the name. And I was in charge of the whole project for the up and coming, the dot con companies. Remember those guys? They already gone. They disappeared. Okay, we did a job for them, and the job came out beautiful. Came out beautiful. I even when we had the minutes meeting, um, everybody there very professional, with the staff and the engineer and us, and they were asking me about the timeline. I said, well, it's supposed to be on this date, and they kept emphasizing if it's one day late after this day, it's supposed to be due on uh, by a Monday. They wanted to start bringing in the people. I kept saying I was going to have it done by a Saturday or a Friday night, something like that. And they couldn't. They 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 were asking me, well, how are you going to do that? Because there's so much to be done. And I said, don't worry, I'll get it done. It was finished and it came out really nice. to the fact that the we brought in this guy, this finisher. We brought several, but one of them was a drywall finisher. And we did, when you come in, when you get off the elevator, you're going to be meeting a receptionist on a very nice handmade wooden, and then you're going to have curving walls. Actually, they will come in straight and then curve towards the elevator with drywall. And I'm thinking, man, that drywall's going to crack because drywall is stiff. But this guy was an artist. So they did I brought in a crew of Guatemalans, frame and drywallers. They framed the whole thing, all the offices, all the everything, the closets, everything in metal frame. And then they brought in the drywall. And on a seventh floor, they had to bring this drywall through the elevator. They didn't have a service elevator, big and wide. No, this is a regular. So I had to wrap because the elevator was made out of. It was done in stainless. Stainless, if you ding it, it stays there. It's not going to pop out or anything. So I had to wrap this thing in foam and plastic, put paper in it, because the owner kept saying, "Oh, it's going to scratch. You're going to scratch it." A little bit of a pain in the ass. Not the owner, the brother. So the owner was very serious and very to the point. He would come in, look, ask a few questions, and leave. But the brother, he was just picking at everything. I'm going to get the hell out of here. You don't know half the shit we're doing, and you picking at it. So, anyways, when the drywall was installed curved, quarter inch, the only one you could do that. Then we had this other finisher that came and applied this material. Then he painted it with clouds and sky, and then he waxed it, and then he buffed it like a car, and it came out gorgeous. I'm looking at this. I'm not used to that type of finish. I'm used to regular home construction. Yeah, now they have fancy things, but back then, no. So, and I said, man, this is nice. It came out real pretty, real nice. Wooden floors, kind of loud. Women are walking with the high heels and clack, clack, clack. You hear the noise. So then we had another finisher come in, and he did the vestibule in the elevator, and he finished the walls with a silica sand. I don't know the number he used, but it's very fine. Painted it green, but when it was finished, it didn't look like a painted wall. It looked like it was velveted. The wall was velveted in green velvet. It looked that way. You touch it, beautiful finish on this guy. And then they hang up some lamps, very expensive. Came from Italy. Really, really nice job that we did in that floor. And we had it ready a day before. So, and by the way, did I get a bonus? No. I just got a thank you. Oh, you came in early and I go, yeah, but you kept threatening me with a $10,000 a day, fine if I'm late. So I brought it in early, just to shut you up already. So I did that. While I was doing that, I was going to architectural school because I knew that was only a ride that I was on. It's like you're surfing the crest of the wave, then it's gonna come down. So I was going to school, going to work, got home, ate, went to school at night, and then I would do the daytime also on the weekends. I think it was a Saturday they were open. I would go there and cramming some more, and then I did that for the duration of that job, and then I started another job, which was a restaurant that was closed for years on Hollywood, and we renovated the whole thing, brought it in early also, came out really nice. The bar job that we did, the copper finish on the bar, the tiger carpet, the fireplace stone wrapped. You know, we wrapped it in stones. A beautiful job, beautiful job. Private booth with curtains. You know, big restaurant with 480 uh, people could eat there. It had an elevator. We'll go down to the pastry department. It had a huge kitchen. It had a wine cellar. Yeah, it's a huge place. So I did that job, and then when I finished that job, GQ guy, he wanted to cheat my tradesmen that have been working for me. Everybody I brought in there, with the exception of a few, they were people that were working for me before. The roofing guy, the drywall guys, the electrician, the no, not the electrician, the carpenters. Well, you know, but most of all, I brought in the metal working guy, the guy that wrapped that bar in copper sheathing and welded it, and then hammered it. Beautiful finish on that bar, and this guy didn't want to pay him. The iron door guy, the garage door guy, all those guys worked for me. I've known them for years, and I never cheated anybody. This asshole wanted to cheat them. So one day I get a call in the office and say, "Hey Ray, I haven't gotten a check from this guy yet." And I said, "You're kidding." And he said, "No, he keeps saying net 30." And I said, "Well, yeah, it's 30 days. After 30 days, because he has to present the job receipts to the boss, to the owner, and then the owner pay. And by the time it goes through the system, it's about 30 days to get paid." And he says, "Yeah, but it's been longer than 30 days." So I said, "Well, let me talk to him." So I went over there and talked to him. And the guy wasn't really giving me a straight answer. He goes, "Well, I haven't got my money yet." And I said, "Well, you know, you're going to Italy. You've been going to Italy. You're not here. I'm the one running the show." Because the guy was a playboy. You know, he was with women and going. So I said, "Okay, listen." I said, "Don't worry about it. You're gonna get paid." I gave him this address. I said, "Go here. This is where the owner of the restaurant is. And tell him what's going on. Show him your receipts. The job is done, and you want to get paid." So I sent them all up there. And one by one, they started getting their checks. They got their money. Everybody got paid. So then when it was time for this guy to get his final payment from the owner, he he comes out with his face, you know, like he deducted $52,000 or something, like 54 or 55, something like that. And I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I said, "You want to screw with my people?" No, I'm going to screw you. So we turn in the job. Everybody get paid. And one guy wanted to put a knife in this guy. And I said, "Come on, for the money that, you know, it's not that big of a deal. You'll get your money." But he was pissed because he called the office and the guy just hung up on him. And I saw him cheat a few people that I didn't hire. There's somebody that he got. I'm not going to start saying names or anything, but that guy didn't like the way he was doing business. And I decided to drop it as soon as I finished with my responsibility. I finished the job for the owners. The owners were happy. They opened up. They had a big grand opening. It got full of people. And then the next Monday, I went to get my final check. And then this GQ tells me, Okay, we got another place over here and on Sunset. I want you to be there. Da, da, da. And I said, no, I got customers waiting for me, and I'm done here. So give him my money, and that's it. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm telling you, I'm quitting. Make it simple, make it plain. I'm quitting. I have another job to start. Um, so he gave me my money, even though he tried to bullshit me. He owed me like 2 weeks, and then I walked off of that. By then, I already had 2 years of architectural uh, under my belt, and I was doing already my my small plans. So I started doing the the plans with the engineering, and then the construction. The construction, all one package. So I did a job for a French couple. It came out really nice. I'm glad to say. I did more than I was supposed to, but I didn't do it for free. Every time they wanted something extra, I said, okay, I could do that, but I will give them a receipt because I don't cheat people. I said, you want to pay, you want to buy it, uh, uh, you know, I'll install it, and this is what's going to charge you for what you want. If you want to upgrade everything. Uh, so finish that one, and then I did a few more, but then I was kind of getting already tennis elbow from swinging that hammer. And I would bring all the people. I would pick up some carpenters when I needed them, or I needed. I have a plumber that he worked for me, brought the plumber in and did the plumbing. So, but I was doing a lot of the physical. And one day, uh, a friend of mine swings by, and he goes, "Hey, where are you?" And I say, "I'm here on the roof dying." I was nailing down the sheeting, and I was just tired, man. I was just tired of hammering, and I'm driving to go pick up the material, load the material on the cart, take it to the register, pay it, roll it out to the parking lot, pick it up, load it onto the truck, drive to the job site, unload it from the truck, carry it up the roof or wherever it needed to be. I was just killing myself, and I said, dude, I'm not 20. I'm not 50, but I'm not 20. And I said, well, so I started thinking maybe I should just do the plans and leave the construction, just finish with this and just do the plans alone. And that's what I did for 20 years. I mean, I had people that wanted me to do the whole thing. I said, well, I want you to be there. I want you to do the work. And I said, no, I don't do that anymore. There was a guy that wanted a present for his daughter that she was getting married and wanted to build a two-story home in a very nice, expensive neighborhood. And I said, and he told me the name of the city. And I said, oh, that city's got a reputation. They're going to drive you crazy. They're going to drive me crazy. And the plants are going to be sitting there for a year. Well, the guy goes, what do you mean? He goes, it's a year, and you're going to be calling me every day. Is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? Because I have people do that to me. And I said, look, I'm not going to go through that. Say, let me recommend this architect. Give him the number. Send him out. Let him deal with that. And this person was working in that city a lot, so they know the routine, they know the process, because it's ridiculous. They keep the plans for 6 months and then they send it out to another agency to get it re-inspected, and then they get it back, and then they're gonna say, "Oh, we need this change and this change and that change." So yeah, I'm not gonna wait a year. My plans will go through any other city a month. Accepted. If it has some corrections, I'd take care of it right away. If it was just something I missed, or some little thing that they wanted different. If it was a 5 foot slider. They don't allow that anymore. Now they want a 6. Okay, no big deal. 6 door, 6 foot slide door, things like that. And I would make the correction, reprint, because they don't want any ink on the thing. You know, they want a fresh sheet. So I would have to take it back, fix it on the computer, print it out the next day. Boom, the next day go over there. Okay, get it all done, stamp it, approved, give it to the owner, call the contractor. My plans were the most I was delayed on a plan that I did was, what was it? 2 months, something like that, because they were short on staff, and the guy that was there was going to classes to learn, and he didn't know much. So my plans were kind of in limbo, just sitting there. And I was going crazy because the owners are calling me. Well, what's going on? Well, why say, did you do something? And I said, dude, the plans are done. The plans are good. I just got to wait for these people to finish inspecting it. And they were giving me some run around till they finally we got it done. And it came out really nice. You know, a house with 2 houses. It's like two townhouses and 2 apartments with parking underneath and everything. Came out nice. And they did it. They finished it. But that city was a little bit slow. But that particular city that I'm not going to mention, it's a pain in the ass. And I never wanted to work there. I have turned away several big jobs because they were in that city. And I wasn't interested in doing that. I didn't want to work there. So yeah, the some cities are beginning to be a pain in the butt. When I when I did my one of my last jobs, I was talking to my engineer, and he says, "Have you done any new houses lately?" And I said, "No, I've been doing a lot of additions and 2-story and that kind of thing." He goes, "Don't." I said, "Well, what's going on?" He goes, "They changed the code. They added some more stuff, and they're gonna drive you crazy. They're gonna make you." Say, "Don't, you know, real stupid things." But by then, I wasn't really doing much of big construction. Uh, I got a good 20 years out of it. But my last job that I did was just remodeling a bathroom. I redesigned the bathroom, and I added, actually, I made the house bigger for this bigger bathroom. That's basically the the one. But but that's how I started, because one thing led to another. So in life, you don't know what's it going to be at the end, because you started at one thing and end up something completely different. I mean, construction. And another reason I chose construction to study, because they gave me the option of, you want to be a doctor? And I said, nah, a little late for that, anyways. You want to be, they gave me a book like this, read and see what you like. And they had an area where it says, you want to be a pheasant farmer. I said, a pheasant farmer? I never heard of that. But anyways, without going through the whole book, I just went through a few pages just out of curiosity. I already knew what I wanted, because to make it easier on me, I studied something that I already knew much about from construction. You're not going to go from construction to being a pilot. You're going to start all over from scratch. But in my case, when I was in class, all the students there were going from scratch. They didn't know what they didn't know what a beam or a 2x6. I mean, there were some people there like, what's an H block, and what's, and I'm going, ooh, they're going to have a hard time, because I already knew everything that goes into a house. It's like X-ray vision. I know everything where it's at and how it's supposed to be. what distance, everything. All I had to do is learn how to draw it, and that's what I did. So I chose construction. From construction, I chose architecture, and that's why I became a, an architectural designer because I was already, like the saying goes, I think it's in Greece. They say when you're in the donkey, you gotta keep riding. So I was already on the donkey. If you already know something about it, keep going and go to the next step. You know. And then my dad, being the ambitious, he says, and now, well, how come you don't become an engineer? I go, dude, man, I got so many numbers in my head, I don't have room for more. He wanted me to go from architectural to engineering because he wasn't satisfied. I said, well, don't you study engineering if you want it so much? So, but that's what life gives you, a lot of curves, and it throws it your way and see how you're gonna act. You're gonna bat it, you're gonna catch it, you're gonna drop it. If you drop it, you're screwed. So I had no choice because my physical condition said that I couldn't do what I used to. And I was really. If you see me walk now, I was really bad before. So I that that's what threw me in that direction. So I took the fork on the right side, not the left side. And I'm happy. I'm glad I did. I enjoy it. I would put in 12 hours, 15 hours straight because you get into it and your mind is is fresh with it. It's got all that information that if you're a rookie, you gotta stop and say, "Oh, let me look at the book. Let me see how I'm gonna do this or what is it supposed to be here." I knew an architect that she asked me one day, "How do you what does it go here? What size beam you think?" Because she didn't know. The engineering tells her, but she was doing the plans before the engineering, so she wanted to kind of jump the gun and put that in there. And I told her the size because I knew, and then she go, "Oh, okay." And but then the thing is that you also have to figure out how you're going to bring that in on a already built building. How are you going to bring that unit? Let's say it's a beam that's 14 by 18. You're not going to bring that in through the door. It's 25, 30 feet long, whatever it is. And she didn't, because she never worked construction. She only knew how to draw, but she didn't have the construction background. When you have both, it makes it a lot easier. So I was kind of teasing her. And I said, no, you bring it into the door. You kind of bent a little bit the beam, and she goes, "Well, what do you mean do they bend?" I said, "Yeah, they bend a little bit. Bring it in and then go down the passageway, and then watch the doors." And she goes, "Ray, start pulling my leg." So I said, "Listen, the way to do it is you cut a hole under the the ridge beam, and you run it through there." You have a guy. You got guys on the inside, guys on the other, and run it. Or if you have a crane, little crane, and just and grab it and pull it in through the wall, right? And then you can situate it to reinforce that beam that you're supposed to be reinforcing. So she didn't have no idea, but that's what it is. That some people, they know how to draw the house, but they don't know what the house needs. You know, how big is the foundation? How big are the bolts supposed to be? How deep do you go? What kind of ground is the ground? Is it dirt? Is it sand? Is it mushy? Is it what is it? If you're in the sandy area, in some areas here that I designed some houses that there used to be an old, um, let's call it a prehistoric river. The whole area is sand. You dig, and it's all sand. So what do you do there? Well, you gotta go 2 feet instead of one. You gotta go 18 instead of 12 in width. And those are the things that those people that they learn how to draw. They don't know the code. They have to learn the code. And then the engineering would tell him what needs where and what. So my engineer, he would send me the information because they're very important to have that stack stamped by the engineer, dated, the whole thing, with it sealed. If you don't have that, it won't pass. Even if your plans are good, you need the engineering report, and along with the uh, energy calculations and all that. So the engineering, there's a guy that tells me, oh no, I mean they're building the houses, and they're just lifting up the walls. And I said, no, those are not houses. This guy doesn't know. He knows, he's an electrician, but he doesn't know construction. He's telling me that the houses are being built with stilts, and I said, no, they're not. Those are warehouses. Those are the only ones. The stand up, bring it up. You hold it like this until they settle, and then you tie them down, attach it with the rest of it. And I said, no, man, you need a foundation for the house. And then he says, well, I'm going to build a second story of my house. And I said, well, you're going to need underpinning. He goes, what's that? He goes, you're going to have to put a foundation under your foundation. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, if you don't know, you need to have blueprint. You're just not going to start putting up stuff on your roof and thinking you're going to build the second story. Don't be an idiot. And this guy is like, he's very stubborn or very stupid, one of the two. So I already had this talk with him about 2 times, twice already. So the going back to my thought was that the life brings you or gives you an opportunity to remake yourself if you can. If you lost your job, if you have the ability to go back to school, study, why not? I did it. It's no big deal. And besides, you meet a lot of nice girls there too. So I'm gonna keep cleaning my brass, and then I'm gonna see if I start reloading. I made a small observation. Let me explain. So I already have a lot of the 7 mag that I'm not gonna load anymore because I got enough. And I was considering on the last video, I think I talked about one of my last videos. I talked about buying another rifle, but I can't find it. It's not. I went to the store. I went to Bass Pro. I asked for the gun. No, they don't have it. Nobody has it. And I said, what if I place an order? He goes, who knows where it's going to get here and if it's going to get here. So, since I have all these extra ammo to load, I happened to come into this bit of information that I didn't really thought about or knew about until I looked into it, which is that the 7mm Remington Magnum bullet, it's 284 diameter. The 270, it's 277. So that means I can't use that bullet that I have left over from the 7 mag to use it on the 270. So what gun can use? What caliber uses that bullet? The same bullet as the 7 Magnum? The 7M08. 284. So I said, man, that's an opportunity right there. If I decide to get the 7M08, I can load all that and use it because I'm not gonna sit there forever. So the 7M08 is 284, 0.284 diameter, same as the 7mm Magnum. So if I do get that gun, it's going to be in that caliber. And now I don't like to have people say, "Oh, you can get a 308 and neck it down to 7 MOA." Go, yeah, you could do that, but then what does it say back here? It says 308. So I don't want a 7 MOA cartridge that says 308 in the back. It's going to create confusion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy 2 boxes, which that is if I get the gun first. I saw the prices is $39.95 for a box of 20, 40 bucks. And then I said, okay, I can get 2 boxes and just when I shoot them, reload that brass that says 7 MOA in the back with the 284 bullet. And then I can use everything I got there. So that's it. That's in the future if it comes. We'll see that on the next one. All right, guys. I'll see you. Bye.